Dr. Money, you look at me, you see energy. You look at me, you see technique. You look at me, you see logistics. And that is not someone who is lazy. Starting from my days in school, starting from primary school, I am not termed as a lazy man. And I told you, educans are wise. Anyone they give a name, that has to do with energy. Meaning, when you look at that person, in fact, you know this person is not a lazy person. They said, I am the workaholic of EDUSA. They did not say workaholic of my own ministry. They say workaholic of what? Of EDUSA. So that name alone is enough for EDUSANs to vote for me, like those who don't know me. But I will tell you that I am not a lazy man because I don't generate AI pictures and I don't generate cooked CVs. Whatever I have in my CV, I earn it.
He is still mentioning two things, that is AI picture and other stuff. If you know photo shoot, you know photo shoot. I do not take myself off that picture. And by looking at me, you yourself, you know it's MJ who is on the picture. So I don't know what he means saying AI picture or whatever. And aside from that, he also mentioned, he's alleging me, like he mentioned something like a CV. And then I believe that CV rectification was done because that communication was made to me at the time when the damage was already done. And when they reached to me, I also told them, yes, as far as you said it's an error and then you omitted it and you come and commit another error, and after that second error is the time my communication really called me to verify. I told them no, and they themselves accepted it was an error. And who know MJ, I think I'm not going to forge something that I do not work for. You mentioned about the printing service here, and in which, if you do not mention, I'm not sure I will ask the question, because during the campaign too, I heard during your campaign strategy you mentioned you have raised 10,000 for printing service. As a committee member on the Ministry of Finance, that 10,000 is not, I do not see any amount 10,000. I saw an amount of 5,662. Hope you do not use that method just to fake EDUSANs for them to vote you in office, because that is what is in the record. And in case if he denies, please kindly follow the financial report by the 15th Executive Council, Finance Minister. You will see the amount that I have stated here, $5,662 here, not 10,000. So please help me to clarify that point. Huh?
Thank you, MJ, for asking me that question. Indeed, it is said that little knowledge is not knowledge. And having knowledge also is not wisdom. Of course, I made mention, even here I made mention that I generated $10,000, and I will repeat it over and over because I generated $10,000. When you look at it, when the printer came through the courtesy of Ibrahim Hiseka, I think I have to face you because this question, yeah. When Ibrahim Hiseka brought the printer, there was $0. I worked to make sure that I generated $10,000, and it was a collaboration between Ibrahim Hiseka, his foundation, there's the Rumor Foundation, and the 15th Executive Council. It was a collaboration between them. Now, the agreement was they will, at the end, have a share base, which is going to be 50% each. The Ibrahim Hiseka will take 50%, and the council will take 50%. Now, here he is. He said, I generated, or the council has, from the printing service, $5,600 and something. Then that means I generated even more than $10,000. I did not tell anyone that I generated $10,000 into the coffers. In fact, I can say that because the $10,000 was generated by myself. So whatever agreement they have with Ibrahim Hiseka, that is not part of my problem. My problem is what I've generated. That's what I've told EDUSANs. And that money, you are still enjoying the benefit of that money. So you telling me that I have not, that means you're being in the finance ministry, you need to do maths properly. You need to do maths because you are not aware of what is happening. Even the simple agreement between Ibrahim Hiseka and the 15th Executive Council, which you work as a finance committee, you are not even aware of that.
Good morning, our viewers across the globe, students from the University of the Gambia, Anywhere you are watching and you are going to watch us later, say welcome back to another policy debate live on Fine TV Farato Studio. Students of the University of the Gambia School of Education are embarking on an election to select the 16th Executive Council. That's why we organize these policy debates to invite the candidates to come and share their policies and programs. Now, we turn our attention from the Auditor General to the Logistic Ministry. While the Auditor Generals are the members that safeguard our fund, the Logistic are the ones that are responsible and safeguarding our assets. From the Faraba Transport Nightmare to make sure that all the events have the necessary arrangements and logistic in place. That's why today we have our capable candidates that are vying for the position under the 16th Executive Council. Today we're going to give them the questions that all the editors are asking so that they can have a better candidate that is going to represent them in the next council. Before wasting time, I would like to take this opportunity and invite the members or the candidates that are vying for the position of Logistic Ministry. I will start with the candidates on my right hand side. Honorable, you can introduce yourself to EDUSA.
Good morning, listeners and viewers on Fine TV. Good morning, the IPRO 15th Executive Council, Sheikh Omar Fati. Good morning to my opponent, Albert. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much of 15th Executive Council and the Fine TV management of giving us this platform to come out and to speak to our dear fellow EDUSANs directly to show them the policies and the program that we have for them if we are elected in the 16th Executive Council. First of all, I would like to greet all of you, my fellow EDUSANs. I say to you, Idul Mubarak. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Mamadou Jalo, a candidate of Student Service Council, vying for the position of Technical and Logistic Minister of the Education Student Association of the upcoming EDUSA election, 31st March 2026. I am a student at the University of the Gambia School of Education, majoring mathematics and minor in biology. And also, I have over 15 years of teaching experience that gave me the experience to come out and vie for the position of Technical and Logistic Minister, because the experience that I have gathered alone have given me a bigger advantage to go in for logistic position in our Education Student Association. In that, I am saying thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable, for that wonderful introduction. Now we move to the candidate on my left hand side. Honorable, you can introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Prof. Fati, IPRO of the 15th Executive Council. Good morning, fellow EDUSANs. Good morning, students of the University of the Gambia. Good morning, Mamadou Jalo, my opponent. I greet you all. My name is Albert Kamoni, a 300 level student of the University of the Gambia School of Education, majoring in agriculture and minoring in public administration. It is indeed a great honor and pleasure to be here today on Fan TV to debate on my policies and also give my opponent the chance to criticize my policies, and also I criticize his own. It is indeed a great honor, as I have said, to face you today, for I am your candidate for the Technical and Logistics Ministry for Team Renaissance. I also extend my sincere greetings to the mighty Team Renaissance and the 10-man committee, and also thank them for giving me the opportunity to be here or to be their candidate for this year's election. Albert Kamoni is not a new name when it comes to students' politics or in the School of Education and the University of the Gambia at large. I started my leadership career long time ago, and I believe it will help me so much in my fight or my request for being the logistics minister come March 31st. I thank you all.
Thank you, Honorable, for that wonderful introduction. Come March 31st, the EDUSANs are going to pool to select the 16 Executive Council that will steer the affair of the students under the School of Education. Now you had the candidates introduce themselves. We are now going straight into their policies and programs. And then to remind the candidates that the questions that are going to be asked, you should focus on that and answer the questions accordingly. Don't go outside because we are running out of time. We have 1 hour to debate, so we cannot talk everything in this. So now to the technical and logistic ministry. We all know these are ministries that are very, very important, and you need a candidate that is active and logistically oriented. So now it's left to the EDUSAN to decide from what they are going to present to you. Who among them are you going to buy to represent you in the next 16 Executive Council? Now, I would like to go with my first questions to Honorable Jallo. Honorable, you all know as a student leader, you must have a track record from your previous careers. Can you tell us what kind of track records do you have that is related to technical and logistic ministry?
Thank you very much. First of all, technical and logistic ministry, as we all know, it is the backbone of every successful student activities, program, and events. And in that, it requires someone who is committed to provide efficiency, reliability, and service for the students. My track record as technical and logistic minister is traced back when I was a classroom teacher, in which I participated in extracurricular activity. As we all know, at the school level, when we are part of extracurricular activity, there is high tendency you'll perform technical and logistic stuffs. So as a committee member on the sport ministry at Gambisara Basic Cycle, I was a committee member on the sport ministry, which were responsible for coordinating all sporting activities of that school. And in that, it required what you call technical service that you might render. In that, you have to set the ground or the field available, in which I have did, and in order to make the interhouse go successfully, in which it was well implemented. And in that, it also requires arrangement of tables, furnitures, to make arrangement that's will able to suit everybody to have view of what is going on. With that skills, I believe I am also a potential candidate that have all the experience it takes to vie for the position of technical and logistic minister. Apart from that, I am also a committee member on the Ministry of Finance, which we all know is a backbone of every association, because they are responsible of taking care of our assets. In that, as a ministry, we also conducted what you call capacity building trainings for EDUSANs. And in that, Mamadou J. Jallo, I was actively participating in coordinating those trainings as successful done by identifying a place where we are going to take the training on, and it also needs to properly check whether the venue is suited for its purpose, and which I also carry out all those activities. I and my own minister, King Hatabukuli, and we make sure that the venue is fit for purpose. And doing so, those are logistical arrangements, because our facilitators will come and we have to fix their gadgets. And that alone have indicated that I have the technical know-how of running that ministry. Aside from that, we will also make sure after the training, the place is also being kept so safely by making sure that I pick all the necessary littering that is within there. And I believe so, those who are watching EDUSANs who have attended our training, you can attest to all what I said here. They are facts and they are authentic. So in that note, vying for the position of Technical and Logistic Minister, I am going to be a person who will continue to deliver excellent service for you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Jallo, for that wonderful remarks. Now, listening to Honorable Kamani, what is your track records that are related to Technical and Logistic Ministry?
Thank you, Prof. Fadi. It is very interesting that you asked me this question. And from what I've heard, I cannot even tell if my opponent is vying for the position of sports or he is vying for the position of IPRO. To my track record, as I said before, I got a teaching experience. I'll start from my school. I attended Kunkujan Ketea Lower Basic School in 2001 to 2006. Then I proceeded to Bangalunding Lower Basic School. I spent 1 year there. That is from 2007 to 2008. Then 2008, I went to Banjulunding Upper Basic School up to 2011, when I started my grade 9. Then from there, I extended my teaching career to Masuru Senior Secondary School, where I become the best English student. Even at WAS level, I was the best English student. Now, coming to my track record, from there I proceeded to the Gambia College from 2015 to 2018. And from there, I was posted to Bakalar Upper and Senior Secondary School. Those who know the school will know that it is not a small school. Where in my first year, when I was a training teacher, a TT, I was given the position of the head of department of the agricultural science field as a teacher trainee, because they have seen the potentials in me and the zeal to commitment to work. From there, until when I was enrolled to the University of the Gambia. From there, I also served as the cluster counselor for SL cluster of the Young Teachers Platform. When I came to the University of the Gambia, I am currently serving as a committee member in the Technical and Logistics Committee of the 15th Executive Council. And also, I am serving as a committee member in the Sports Committee at SU. So, the knowledge that I have from the Logistics Ministry is, I think, enough for me to vie for this position. I am not someone who came from finance or came from sport, then venture into the Logistics Ministry. I have been working in the ministry, and those pictures that you saw me on top of the bus or on the ground doing all sort of logistics works, they are not AI pictures. The Team Renaissance, we don't give you or provide you with AI pictures. Our first impression is good, but a candidate that will show or bring you AI pictures before even talking about the policies, I don't think that person should be trusted in this ministry. So, telling you just few of my track records, because we don't have enough time, I will stop there for now. But I will assure you that with this little track record, I am the most competent and the most vibrant and the most qualified candidate for this position, which is the Technical and Logistics Committee Ministry. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable, for that wonderful deliberation. To the Honorable MJ, yes. Now you people are coming to vie for position that we, the EDUSANs, are going to entrust you. My question is now, what have you done for EDUSANs or the university students before vying for this position? Just what have you done? Not outside university, but what have you done for your 3 years in university before vying for this position?
Yes, thank you very much. And then I would like to make some clarification. You asked us what track record do we have that links to our position we are vying for.
Yes.
And as we all know, when we say extracurricular activity like sport committee, as a sport committee, you are organized an inter-house. What are some of the things you are likely to do? They require technical and logistic stuffs. And those are the ones I said, because it requires musical set and you have to facilitate the transport, in which I have did. In fact, when we conducted that inter-house 2021 to 2022, we even hired a DJ all the way from Farafenye, and in which I was the one who facilitated his transportation and other means, and we were able to provide a quality sound system in which was one of the best so far, and that was the reason I went all out. And again, he make another point saying, how can someone from finance ministry and vying for the technical and logistic? I have already said it here. We conducted capacity building training. In fact, they are the one who should even organize, find venue for us, and make sure that the venue is safe for us, and then all the technical required, like the projector, is fixed, in which our facilitator can able to do so. I can even vividly remember when one of our facilitator came with a laptop that do not match with the socket of the projector. I myself, with my own laptop, I happen to take it and connect it. We are able to project it, and I believe the EDUSANs who witnessed that training can attest to that. So from there, coming to the question that the IPR asked me, I'm sorry for diving.
No problem.
I need to rectify, because my colleagues he do misinformation. So, and then I need to clarify myself very well.
Everything is going to be clear here. Yes.
Thank you very much. As you all know, MJ is not a new man. When you come to 15 Executive Council, whenever they make a call, I will be proudly said I have been actively and fully participating about 95% of all the EDUSA activities. I was not a player within my ministry. I was a player outside other ministries. And if you can bear with my witness, even the 15th Executive Council, from all those ministers, they held me for my that commitment, because any training that is being called from any ministry, I do take part. Any cleaning exercise or any activity that the council is doing, when I am aware, I take it to my own level as an EDUSANS. It is my obligatory to take part in helping the council to achieve its aims and objectives. And in other hand, during the 17th convocation ceremony, in which the 15th Executive Council embarked on what we call selling activities through the welfare, culture and welfare, in which they have coordinated the actions. And when our minister, Hatap Kinkole, bring that information at our page, indicated that there is an activity taking place by welfare and culture. So yes, so I have voluntarily went and witnessed the sales, and in which I have contributed in one way or the other, making sure that what the event was for is achieved, because I was helping to do sales activity alongside my own minister. In fact, when that picture was out, they said it's just for the sake of picture. I'm clarifying, it's not I went and took a picture. There are even those who are under social and welfare, they hailed me, even their own minister hailed me of turning out. And I believe I was offered a breakfast which I was rejected, and which they were not happy because my commitment. And in that I'm saying I'm apologizing them, but anyway, I was there just to do the work as an EDUSAN. So my activities and participation in EDUSA activity is everywhere. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Honorable. And now to Honorable Kamani. What have you done for the EDUSANs before vying for this position? So we don't want politicians just to come and present themselves without having anything that they have done for the university students. What have you done for them?
Thank you, Prof. You are very right that we must tell our audience what we have done for our school. Like I said before, Albert commonly known as Albert Einstein, is not a new name when it comes to School of Education and the University of the Gambia at large. He made mention of him making arrangements for the finance ministry on the capacity building that they have conducted. He said the logistics ministry failed to provide a ground, because he said it is part of our responsibility, but we did not do. He was the one doing all the other logistics works. But for the records, fellow EDUSANs, he also said that I am someone who misinforms people. If you know Albert, you will know that Albert Einstein said, and I quote, "A life lived for others is the life worthwhile." And this is what I have been living. I like helping people. So him coming here to say that he did the logistics works in the capacity building organized by the Finance Ministry of the 15th Executive Council. That message is unfounded because that is not possible. We have a logistics ministry and we have a committee in that logistics ministry. So if my opponent happens to say that he was the one doing those logistics works, I think EDUSA, it is high time we see where the truth is coming from and who says it from the heart. As I said before, you have been seeing me in all activities of EDUSA doing logistics works. They even have to give me the name, the workaholic. And you don't just, not anybody can generate that name or have that name in EDUSA. EDUSAs are technical. They give names, those names to people who are technically oriented. Now, coming to what I have done for EDUSA, I will start from my first year. Both we were there in the nationwide tour. It was my second activity because I was in the students' EDUSA week, where I was not even a committee member. I was just a student. I was not into politics. I was not into anything. I make sure that I joined the logistics ministry to help arrange seats. I even took part in some of the activities. We went to the nationwide tour in my first year, where we were there. I make sure that any work that I see that has to do with the logistics ministry, I go and do it. By then, Stan Jassy was the logistics minister, and the current minister, Fadams, who is my boss, was the deputy. None of them called me to do it. I was just doing it because I have the love for EDUSA. Coming to my second year, that is to show you that I did not just start in my second year because I am looking onto becoming a minister. No, I was doing it voluntarily. Coming to my second year, we start with the Students' Week. The Students' Week here, I represented my own year, which was year 2, which he is also part of. I played football, represented until we went to the finals. From there, the EDUSA week during the activities on campus, I was the one among the people, myself, Adams, I was the first committee member who came there. We arranged the seats, swept everything. Now we go to the lesson where we don't have time. Even my opponent himself was commending me for being a jambar, a workaholic. There's a picture, if you can remember, where it was circulated by our campaign managers, where I was on top of the bus, arranging the mattresses, including the one that he was even sleeping on. I was the one taking care of him. And one of those pictures, you'll be surprised that he was the very one that even snapped that picture. I was on top because he was on the ground. He was telling Albert, "No, you are there." He took some of those pictures, and other editions also took them, only to send them to me after. We go to the printing service. The only printer that EDUSA have through the courtesy of Ibrahim H. Seka, our presidential candidate, who is the active vice president. I am the one who is handling it. And by the grace of God, I was able to generate $10,000 from my effort. That is not all. EDUSANs feel happy whenever I am doing work. They will just come and find me working, snap me, then in the evening they send me the pictures. If you look at some of those pictures, I'm not aware. But EDUSANs are happy with what I'm doing. And also, I donated EDUSAN with fruit trees, which are oranges and grapes, which some of them are still on campus. You see me watering them. He has never come to water them. And those orange, I did not just transplant them there or donate them for myself, because I know they will not find me there, but for our children and our junior ones coming. So a man technically oriented and logistically and down have always has what we call long-term planning. In logistics, that's what we call it, long-term planning, if you don't understand. So, Anbad has done more than this for EDUSA, but we don't have time. We only have limited time. I will stop here and allow my opponent to also say something, because I cannot take the whole time. I have to give him some time to also say something. But what you are saying about you arranging logistics arrangements during your capacity building is unfounded, because I can remember.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable. To remind those who are watching now, or those who are joining us, you are watching Fine TV Gambia, EDUSA Policy Debate 2026. I'm your moderator, Sir Umar Fati, the Information and Communication Minister, 15th Executive Council. Now to Honorable, you people, I have to be very clear here. Yeah, you people mentioned that taking pictures, you know, do you people took pictures because you have the intention to contest so that people can use, or you use that picture to sell your agenda? So what
yes, thank you. Thank you. So
and let's be specific to that questions, you know. I don't want any order. We will have rebuttals at the end of the program. So why you people are taking pictures and now sharing and using that pictures to campaign?
Thank you. Thank you very much for these wonderful questions. Indeed, I think what you raise is a good questions. Definitely, I myself personally, I do participate in all EDUSA activity, and I work so diligently behind cameras. I am not someone who is showing off what I have done or whatever. So in that, I am not the one who have taken the pictures. It's people who are there taking the pictures for me, and they feel he have contributed, and they go outside to share it with other people to show them what he was able to do for the EDUSANs. So I am a man who work in the absence of camera, and I have manifested all entirely. And to be frank, my colleagues definitely, I can say, is very dishonest guy. He mentioned about the EDUSA nationwide tour. Yes, and by looking, he's a committee member. Climbing on the top of the bus, it's a responsibility for him to do it. If he do not do it, who will do it for him? Because he is appointed as a committee member to help the technical and logistic minister, the minister himself, FADEMS, in which I can attest they are the one responsible for climbing on the top of the buses. And Mamadou Jejalo, I will go to the accommodation room, our sleeping room, taking out these mattresses and giving them to upload them up there. We are the one on the ground doing that, and I do not take any picture to indicate that. But those who are watching and they are part of the EDUSA nationwide tour, they can attest the activities that I have done. In fact, even the chairman of the tour have hailed me of my strong commitment I have shown during the tour. That is Ibrahim H. Seka during the evaluation night. And I believe EDUSAs are watching. If I am lying, you can judge it. Yes. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you. But I'm not going to take any rebuttals. I'm going to stop you. You have to answer my questions. You don't answer each other questions, okay? So otherwise, at the end of the programs, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to ask each other or to do any rebuttals. So let's be specific to the answers that the questions that I'm going to give it to you, so that you can give us the answers, because time is not in our side. Right, the same thing. Why you people are taking pictures? It's like you people have the intention to contest. That's why all those pictures are coming out now, to use it as a campaign tool.
Thank you so much, Prof. Once again.
Yes, and then answer the question.
Yes, to answer the question, I will go straight to the point.
Yes.
You mean, like when you look at when I was talking about the achievements or what I've done for EDUSA, I said I started working in my first year.
Yes, now we're talking about the pictures. Why you people are taking pictures? It's like you people have the intention that, okay, I'm coming to contest under the System Executive Council, so anything I'm doing, let me take a picture so that you can use that pictures.
Okay. When you look at the pictures that they are circulated by our campaign manager, my pictures, you will realize that most of the pictures, I was not focusing on the camera. It is either I gave it back doing work there or focusing on something. All those pictures, I wasn't aware of them. It was later, like when I do the work in the evening or after some time, I'll just see them on my DM from the person who sent, who snapped them. There is one, like on top of the bus, I was standing, trying to take a rope. That was in Jarasoma. But where I was standing, the one taking the picture was standing right on the ground, facing me. So if you don't look at it properly, you will think that I was looking at him. I was not looking at him. I was doing the work since in my first year. And that time, I was not a committee member. I don't even have time for politics. I don't even have the intention to be a politician. So when I look at those pictures, they are not mere pictures of me like opting for a position or a political position. This way I'm doing that. So the pictures can judge for themselves.
All right, thank
because
you.
I've not faced the camera on that.
Thank you so much. Now, we all heard that they don't take pictures because they want to contest on the 16th Executive Council. But EDUSAs are watching, and then you have the final say to decide among these two candidates who is going to be your next technical and logistic minister. Now to the most important part of this program, that is the policy debate. We are now going to their policies and programs. We will give them each 5 minutes to talk about their policies and programs. And then this is going to be on records. Whatever they said here, you can hold them accountable the day of the Congress or at the end of their tenure in office. So Honorable MJ, now you can have 5 minutes to talk about your policies and programs that you have for EDUSA students and the university students at large for when you are elected as the next technical and logistic minister.
Thank you very much, Prof. Fatih, of asking me my policies and program. As your technical and logistic minister of the Education Student Association of the coming 16th Executive Council, here are some of the policies that I have, which I wanted to deliver to you, the fellow EDUSANs. First of all, I will establish internal auditing of the assets and maintenance system of the assets. As we all know, the assets of the association is important as the association itself. However, their maintenance and their upkeep has been a major challenge that the current association is facing through, because there are some technical and logistic items that fails to function during an activities, and as a result of not properly assessing those equipment and not making any effort to maintenance. And if you go to the activity report, it will indicate that this council, 15th Executive Council under Technical and Logistic Minister, there is no single amount that indicate there was a maintenance fee. So as your Technical and Logistic Minister, I will set up a policy of establishing a subcommittee that will be responsible for assessing the equipment or the materials of EDUSA, and they will also facilitating their maintenance on due time to avoid holding activities or program where they might cause delays. My second policy also, I will also promote what we call effective, timely, and efficient service delivery for EDUSANs. As you all know, the technical and logistic minister play a very important role towards the success of an activity. In that, I and my committee members will make sure that we go with our plans that we call event execution timeline. This event execution timeline will serve as a guiding tool for preparing an event before or during and after, and this will help us to deliver the necessary equipment needed for that particular program. And doing so, this will help us to eradicate delayance. Then the third policy I would like to share with you, I am going to introduce what you call hotline that will enable you, the fellow EDUSANs, to reach out to your technical and logistic minister if in case there is any material or any facility that have a problem and it needs a necessary urgent to address it. You can reach on me on that hotline, whether I or any of my committee member will be available to assess, to write a report, to push it forward, if it is a major one, to push it forward to the 16th Executive Council to find solution to that facilities. If it goes beyond that, I can also link it to, because I will partner with the main student union responsible for technical and logistic minister to also extend that issues, in which he also can able to have access to facilitate it through the facility officer of UTG management in order to remedy certain issues arising. So in that note, I believe you, the EDUSANs, will make best choice here. A man with policies and program, that is NJ. I am going to deliver services that best fitted you. So do not make any mistake of not voting me in. I am action-oriented man, as you all know, so with a reason. So in that note, these are the some of the policy. So I do hope on the 30th of March during the convention day, please kindly come out in your large numbers. You shall hear more of these policies. I just give you these 3 policy, but there are 3 more which are very much need of you people, and then I want to hit you by surprise. So in that note, I do hope you are hearing me, and you will make sure that I am your technical and logistic minister of 16th Executive Council. So in that note, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable, for that policy presentation. We all had the policies and programs according to Honorable Jallo. Now we will now go to Honorable Kamoni. What is your policies and your programs that you have for EDUSANs, and then why are they going to vote for you? So now you have 5 minutes to present your policies and programs. So EDUSANs, hear from your aspirant candidates.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof, for yet another opportunity. Fellow EDUSANs, I think this is the most important part of this policy debate, because this is the reason why most of you will leave your time in the day of election, come to vote for Albert Kamoni as your next logistics minister. There was a time after the Congress, the final ordinary Congress of the 15th Executive Council. I am always in the office doing some print work, helping students. I went to the office the following Monday. The Congress was on Saturday. I went to the office the following Monday, and I was printing out works. 2 ladies came to me. They did not find anyone there. I was the only one there. They asked for sanitary pads. I'm sorry for that. It's part of my policy. I'm telling you how I generated my policies, because my policies are not AI policies. They are time bound, and I generated them from the needs of EDUSANs, because I have an entrepreneurship experience. My policies are what? They are time bound and they are innovative. So these 2 ladies came and they asked me, but the way they asked me of the sanitary pads, I realized that they were shy. The other one has to go out and allow the one who needs it. I was also not ashamed, because to me it is normal, because I'm also engaged in gender issues with the help of the foundation of SFCC, our current gender candidate, the Conscious Health and Hygiene. So it was not a problem to me. Then I went to the cupboard where the parts are always kept. I did not find even a single part, which made me so touching, so troubling. But how comes after the Congress, some people or someone came and took the materials that are needed to protect the integrity of our women? I see that women supposed to be respected. If they are in their natural flow, even the next person to them should not know it. They have to sit comfortably in class and attend lectures like others. Then that was when I said, I have to make this a policy. This is why I came with this policy. Proper management of the materials of the council. Because I am always in the office. Anyone who will be using our materials, I will know. Those parts supposed to have been taken care of by the Gender and Health Minister. But at that time, she was not even there, and the deputy was not there. So if I come in as a logistics minister, I will make sure that the materials of the institutions are properly kept. How I am going to do it? They will not only be in the office open like that, and not everybody will have access to them. By the grace of God, that I will do. Albert is not someone who just give you mere promises. The other policy is proper and transparency in the procurement of assets, because it is also going to be part of my policy, my responsibilities. Because according to the Constitution, chapter section 21, subsection 5, it says that the logistics minister shall be the main person in the procurement of the assets of the association. Therefore, I'll make sure that the procurement of assets is done properly, and it is not done in the absence of other council members. EDUSANs can attest to me that just lately, the 15th Executive Council, through the leadership of Alassane, I will thank him for being the president, Mali Foundation donated materials for the baby center and also EDUSA in general. But not all council members were there. Even the logistics minister was not aware. The day that he saw it circulating, he has to call me. I said, Albert, are you aware as the most committed committee member in my council, in my committee? Are you aware of the materials? I said, no. So I make sure that the audit, the procurement of materials is properly done. And the third policy will be upgrading the printing service. EDUSANs are tired.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, your times. And if you want to hear all about their policies and programs, you can join us the day of the convention, where they're going to present. They will have the ample time to give all the EDUSANs, the programs and the policies that they have when they are elected on the 16th Executive Council. Now to Albert, you maintain your mic because I'm going to ask you this question now around, so that you can be fair. Students, according to section 21, subsection 2, transport. Now we move to Faraba. The number one complaint that all students are complaining is transport to Faraba or from Faraba to their respective home. Now, what plans do you have as the next technical and logistic minister if you are elected in the office, so that this can be better and students can have easy way to move and attend their lectures?
Thank you very much, Prof. Fati. I think that section of the Constitution of EDUSA, amended in 2022, the final draft, supposed to be explained by the LC. It is like that section of the Constitution is always being misinterpreted. But when you look at subsection 2 of the same section 21, it says that the logistics minister shall facilitate transport and transportation means in the activities of EDUSA. I think that explains the first subsection.
So it's like you're trying to tell me that the transport is not to move students from Faraba or from Faraba to their home, but for the activities.
Yes, I will come to that. Part of it is part of it. Now, looking at that section that you have mentioned, the logistics minister of sub-associations, not only EDUSA, is responsible for the transportation of students of their sub-associations in their own activities. Like, for example, if EDUSA during nationwide tour, it is the responsibility of the logistics minister to facilitate transport and also provide transportation means. That is to levy for a bus from the union, from the management, for the transportation of students to the activity. The logistics minister has limited functions when it comes to SU. When you are elected, you are automatically a committee member in the logistics ministry at SU. You will have a say and also have a link directly with the logistics minister at SU.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. The same to Honorable Jallo. Under section 21, subsection 2, transport to Faraba. The number one complaint that the students are complaining every day, that is going to Faraba and coming from Faraba. So if you are elected as the next technical and logistic minister, what solution do you have for these people?
Yeah, thank you so very much. Under Section 21, subsection 2, the Technical and Logistic Minister shall facilitate travel and transportation means of all EDUSA activities. So that section is typically speaking for only EDUSA, our association. In case there is an outreach program or EDUSA nationwide tour, it is incumbent upon the Technical and Logistic Minister to facilitate the means of transportation of how to reach at that place. Am I clear? So it is for an outreach purpose, then the Technical Logistic Minister have to facilitate the travel.
You mean that it's not to transport or ferry students from their destination to Faraba?
No, and then in that area I will give you some points on that. But here is for the activities. When there's an activity, those activity equipment need to be transported at Faraba. It's my Technical and Logistic Ministry to do so. That is what that part of the constitution is explaining. But if you come to the issue of Faraba students are facing, I think we have to collaborate with the main SU. And then the main SU also, we try by all means. I believe they are keeping going because I do follow their update. They are making so many efforts to see that the nightmare of Faraba transportation is at solve, because they went in for private company in which the negotiation is going. They are looking at structure and formalities of how to reach an agreement. So in that, I am urging all of you, we can help you to board a bus at Faraba, like to make the queuing easy. We can play a role in that because we are already a subcommittee at the SU level. So in that, we will help you in that. So thank you.
Thank you. If you are joining us now, we are at Fine TV Gambia, EDUSA 2026 policy debate. We are here with the candidates vying for the position of Technical and Logistic Ministry under the 16th Executive Council. Now, to Honorable, assets often disappear in office the day of the handing over ceremony, and then after the programs, assets normally disappear. As the custodians of the assets, what tracking device or tools or plans do you have to make sure that all our assets are in place and no assets is going to disappear?
Yeah, thank you very much once again. When we look at it, we as a logistics ministry, we did not only stop at giving promises or talking to EDUSANs. In our first semester to go to Faraba, our first year, by then Fathers was the deputy for logistics, technical and logistics, and Salgasi was the technical and logistics minister. Fathers himself, as the deputy, went to the facility officer, the director of facilities, and they complained that most of the time we do lose our materials, that they should help and provide a store for us, which I was aware. And currently, as a logistics minister, Fathers, he also has been following the facility officer to the mail to make sure that they give us an office so that our assets will be secured. But to no avail. The reason being, when you look at it, in School of Education, almost all the sub-associations, including SU, they have their office in the School of Education. So we cannot secure any office as of now. But we are still making direct contacts with the facility officer to make sure that we at least have a store. Now, that is part of my policies. Like I said, I will make sure that the materials are properly kept. Fathers, where he stopped, that's where I will continue to make sure that we have an office where we keep our materials. And the key is going to be controlled and solely controlled by the committee members and also the logistics minister and the deputy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable, the same question to you also. Assets often disappear in the office, and then we all know that assets don't have legs, but sometimes they disappear. They disappear the day of the handing over ceremony. They also disappeared after the programs. After the program, everybody is in a haste. Even the technical logistics ministers may also leave some assets behind. So what device or what policies do you have to make sure that our assets don't disappear anymore?
Thank you very much for that questions. I becoming as your new technical and logistic minister, the disappearance of assets will be thing of the past. As I said earlier on one of my policy, I will I and my team will do what we call internal audits. So that internal audits will help us to know the assets that we receive and the assets that are usable and the assets that are not functioning. And in that, we are also going to put a proper documentation of inventory of all the items of EDUSA, and in which also any individual who might use the assets of an association, your name will be logged and the date and the time, and then at the duration at which you are going to with the assets. So if the duration elapses, we're going to reach to the individual and we communicate to make sure that the assets are back in place. So in that, I think it can help us to mitigate that issue. With me, your assets are in safe hand. We are having a right custodians, because the experience I gather as a classroom teacher, 15 years, and an elderly guy for that matter, I'm not sure I will sit here and lie to you. And then with me, your asset is in safe hand.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Now let's go continue. Section 21, section 3, read. The executive may give you extra function. How will you manage your workload to ensure your core duty of protecting assets is not neglected? The executive may give you extra works different from your constitutional.
That is subsection 3.
Yes.
Yes. As the logistics minister, I will make sure that I arrange all my policies and all the activities, because I know all the activities that's supposed to take place in the council. I know all the activities. And the only thing that I don't know currently is what other ministers are going to bring. But as the logistics minister, I shall be the one to make sure that all those policies are carried out properly and they are carried out on time. Now, I will say my own policies, which I know as now, and the activities that the council is supposed to hold. I will make sure that I have the list of everything and also the policies of each and every minister and arrange them according to what? To their areas of, let's say, connection. And make sure that that list is distributed to my committee members. I'll be able to have more committee members than other ministries. I'll make sure that my committee is divided into groups, monitored by my deputy, to make sure that any activity that comes and it is in line with a particular group of events given by a particular group of my committee, they will be the ones to handle it. My own policies also are going to, I make sure that each and every committee member or group will be given part of my policy, so that there will be no delay in my own policies and they will always be time bound. And I will also make sure that I make follow-ups. And that is not someone who just give you work and leave you. No, I am trained by Seka, Ibrahim H. Seka. He trained me well, and also trained by Fadens and Sadi Gassi. When they give you work, I'm not just called workaholic like that. When they give you work, they make sure they give you a timeline. And I will always make sure I do it before that timeline elapses. The first Seka always tells you, when anytime you give Albert, you go extra. So the council giving me extra work, it is not going to be a problem to me. I'll make sure that I fulfill my policies and also wait for any responsibility given to me by the council. Now coming to, there was something, I want to make something clear, sorry. Looking at transportation.
Rebuttals and orders.
No, it's not rebuttal. In the student transportation, this is not something that I sat and be waiting. Though it's not part of core responsibilities, but I am also taking part. When you ask the current logistics minister, even MJ, the past logistics minister at SU, every time, the current logistics minister at SU, anytime I call him in the morning, he will tell me, Albert, you are now coming to disturb me again. I was even sleeping, or I am busy at the GDSE to facilitate transport, and you are calling me, I know it's transport. I tell him, I have interest to helping students. Once they don't go, even if I am late, I will stand here and wait for them to go. But I will make sure that even until and unless the last person leaves, especially in the morning, I will not leave. Unless the last person leaves, that's the time I will leave. And anytime I call, whether it's transport, you even know that. So coming to making that clarification, I am not just doing it now. I started before. Okay. I am still doing it for students. They can attest to it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have a question for that, but I have to ask Honorable first before going to that question. Now, Honorable, Section 21, subsection 3 says that the executive may give you extra functions. How will you manage your workload to ensure your core duty of protecting asset is not neglected?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I believe my opponent, he is just digressing. He did not answer the questions. This particular section, I interpreted it as we are on a journey, and suddenly we have breakdown of fuel. So in that, the executive can give me a role to go and buy fuel, and I believe it was the role of technical and logistic to offer that. So that is the way I interpret this clause. And then they are going to give anything they are going to direct me, it is going to be in line with my own duty, because this is a constitutional function that you need to perform. If it's beyond your constitutional function, then you have to tell them that anyway, this is not my portfolio. You can delegate to other ministers. So this is the way I interpret this section. Yeah, in case when there's an emergency, so they tell you you have to go and bring this, you have to go because it's your jurisdiction to do it. So that's what I have.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for that. Now, to the section, I think now the EDUSA constitution is due for amendment. Now, let's look at the transport, for example. You both mentioned that transport is when EDUSA have a programs so that they can ferry the equipments and the materials to the venue. Now we move into Faraba, and we all know that transport is very, very important. To go to Faraba is very, very difficult if you miss the bus. So why not you, if you are elected as the next technical and logistic minister, to go to LB to amend this clause so that they can also indicate that transport in collaboration with the SU to make sure that the students move. If there is a mean for EDUSA to have their own bus or to have their own means of transport, I think that will be helpful, because we cannot be standing in one place, so that we can grow as a team.
Yes, thank you so much. My opponent said I'm just talking. That is not
the answer. Answer the question.
But to be honest with you, yes, the answers that I'm giving here and the policies that I've made will tell me that these are technical policies, and they are what? They are innovative policies. So he cannot just say that I am just talking anyhow. But that is not a problem. I have been receiving insults in political banter for so long. Now I'm used to them. Now, coming to your question, like I said, I am doing it currently, working with the logistics minister as a committee member in the logistics ministry of the sub association. Now, we talk about amending the constitution. Of course, that's not the only place that's supposed to be amended. It is not the only section. When we look at subsection 4 or 3, it says the logistics minister shall perform other functions as given by the executive. What if they give functions that are outside the jurisdiction of the activities of EDUSA? No mention of an emergency like transport or fuel. The fuel is a transportation. Anything that has to do with transportation, it has to do with the logistics minister, whether you know it or not. So let us not bring those vague excuses. It is your responsibility to do it. Now, when I come as the minister, which I will do by the grace of God, I will make sure that on my side of facilitating or amending the constitution, I will make sure that it is not only limited to activities of EDUSA. I will make sure that the constitution will collaborate us, the ministers, with the minister at SU, who is the sole responsible for the transportation of students to Faraba. I will make sure that I will discuss with the president, who will be the Heseka, to make sure that the constitution is amended to that part, to give us the powers or the authority to extend our help or our functions to outside the school of education.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable, the same questions, we are running out of time. Yes.
You mean what? Can you help me with the question? Sorry.
Yes, the question is, what technical, the transport under section 21 subsection 2, we talk about transport, and this transport, as you both mentioned, is for moving the items or the materials when the EDUSANs have in the program.
Yeah.
Now, can this be amended to make sure that also include the students to move from their various destinations to attend their lectures, not only the items? Because now we are moving to Faraba, and Faraba is very difficult to go. If boss left you behind, you find yourself in a very funny situation to move to Faraba?
Yeah, for that section to cater transportation for all university students, as you mentioned, need to be catered and it need amendment. I believe this general student body are watching us, and then their services is what we are opted for. And we believe it is very ideal to extend that support for them to have easy transportation at Faraba. And I believe I and my team will look into it and try to find out the formalities in which we are going to use to change that clause. And even the EDUSAs, if you also have, and you think it deemed necessary, you can also file a petition to at least change that clause. I think EDUSAs also have a role in that too. That's my understanding.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. That does bring us to our final questions, Honorable.
Yeah.
You can keep the mic. Technical and Logistic Ministry is not for lazy man. Are you lazy?
Thank you very much. As you all know, by the name MJ, action-oriented man, is a man who is everywhere and is a player everywhere. I'm not a player at my own league, Ministry of Finance. I am a player everywhere. I am the gentleman who used to be everywhere. Any activities that they call, I participated. The activity that I have participated alone have already indicated to me I am readily available anywhere my service is needed.
And you are not lazy?
No, I am not lazy. I am action-oriented man.
I know.
Yeah, I'm very dedicated and hardworking. So this hardworking also is not something that is new to me. I have manifested this hardworking discipline in me since when I was a TT. I was also awarded as Best Connected TT at Welingara Lower Basic School, and that will continue up to Gambisara as the most hardworking teacher in 2022. And even there's any award from the 15th Executive Council as a committed committee member in entire all the committee, I think I'm worthy to be given that hardworking. Yes, because it's a man who do not stop at his own ministry. I am visible everywhere. Yeah, it's just during politics I start to receive negative energy to kill my spirit. Yeah, he's an outside player. He's taking pictures. Those pictures, I didn't notice them. So in that note, I believe I will do as expected.
That's good. Yeah. So we all heard that he is not lazy, according to MJ. Now, Technical and Logistic Ministry is not for a lazy man. Are you lazy? Honorable.
Thank you once again. This is a question that I like because it is coined by my boss, my ancestor in the war, the zookeeper, Sawi Jasi, in the last year SU election, that logistics is not for a lazy man. Albert Tomori, you look at me, you see energy. You look at me, you see technique. You look at me, you see logistics. And that is not someone who is lazy. Starting from my days in school, starting from primary school, I am not termed as a lazy man. And I told you, educations are wise. Anyone they give a name, that has to do with energy. Meaning, when you look at a person, in fact, you know, this person is not a lazy person. They said, I am the workaholic of EDUSA. They did not say workaholic of my own ministry. They say workaholic of what? Of EDUSA. So that name alone is enough for EDUSAns to vote for me, like those who don't know me. But I will tell you that I am not a lazy man because I don't generate AI pictures and I don't generate cooked CVs. Whatever I have in my CV, I earn it. And I forgot to tell you something. I am a trained leader at FKF Leadership Academy. If you know Prof. Fane, the current chairman of the governing council of the University of the Gambia Management, he is the CEO of that FKF Leadership Academy. I was the first male mentee of the month. If you know, those who know that organization will tell you that that title is not given to anyone. It's not just given to a lazy person.
So because of that title, you are telling me that?
No, not only that title. I'm talking about outside.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you have to
lazy or not?
No, I'm not lazy.
Yes.
Because I've been the most active committee member in the logistics ministry, and even the current logistics minister, Fadams, will attest to that. You sometimes call me late at night and tell me, boy, if it is not you, then I don't know where to put my head. So that alone shows that. And those pictures, You said those people.
We will come to that. You have time to talk about those kind of things. Now, to the end of the program, now I'll give you the opportunity to ask each other based on what you said here. If you have any questions, you're going to have 3 questions, and you have 1 minute to answer all the questions. When it's time, I will stop you, and then you also have the opportunity to ask your opponents about the questions. So you can do all your rebuttals, and then you can use your time also to do your correction and then fail to answer, but I will stop you when the time comes. So now, MJ, so you have the time to ask Albert. Albert, you also going to have your time to ask MJ.
But I need to clarify this thing. Just 1 minute, please.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
give me 30 seconds to clarify it, because time is not our side.
He is still mentioning 2 things, that is AI picture and other stuff. If you know photo shoot, you know photo shoot. I do not take myself of that picture. And by looking at me, you yourself, you know it's MJ who is on the picture. So I don't know what he means saying AI picture or whatever. And aside from that, he also mentioned, he's alleging me, like he mentioned something like a CV. And then I believe that CV rectification was done, because that communication was made to me at the time when the damage was already done. And when they reached to me, I also told them, yes, as far as you said it's an error, and then you omitted it, and you come and commit another error, and after that second error is the time my communication really called me to verify. I told them no, and they themselves accepted it was an error. And you know, MJ, I think I'm not going to force something that I do not work for. Yes, what I can tell you, I'm just a 15 executive, sorry, on the 50 executive council, I am a finance committee member.
Thank you.
So aside from that,
thank you. Now, to the question. Now you have 1 minute to answer the questions.
Yes. Okay. I am very much happy to face my opponent here. He is just trying to lead you the EDUSANs. Please take your time and watch the tune. Yeah. You mentioned about the printing service here, and in which, if you do not mention, I'm not sure I will ask the question, because during the campaign too, I heard during your campaign strategy, you mentioned you have raised 10,000 for printing service. As a committee member on the Ministry of Finance, that 10,000 is not, I do not see any amount 10,000. I saw an amount of 5,662. Hope you do not use that method just to fake EDUSANs for them to vote you in office, because that is what is in the record. And in case if he denies, please kindly follow the financial report by the 15th Executive Council Finance Minister. You will see the amount that I have stated here, $5,662 here, not 10,000. So please help me to clarify that point. Huh?
Okay.
Thank you. You have 1 minute to answer that question. 1 minute.
Thank you, MJ, for asking me that question. Indeed, it is said that little knowledge is not knowledge, and having knowledge also is not wisdom. Of course, I made mention, even here I made mention that I generated $10,000, and I will repeat it over and over, because I generated $10,000. When you look at it, when the printer came to the courtesy of Ibrahim Hiseka, I think I have to face you, because this question, yeah. When Ibrahim Hiseka brought the printer, there was $0. I work to make sure that I generated $10,000, and it was a collaboration between Ibrahim Hiseka, his foundation, there's the Lumba Foundation, and the 15th Executive Council. It was a collaboration between them. Now, the agreement was they will, at the end, have a share base, which is going to be 50% each. The Ibrahim Hiseka will take 50%, and the council will take 50%. Now, here he is. He said, I generated, or the council has, from the printing service, $5,600 something. Then that means I generated even more than $10,000. I did not tell anyone that I generated $10,000 into the coffers. In fact, I can say that because the $10,000 was generated by myself. So whatever agreement they have with Ibrahim Hiseka, that is not part of my problem. My problem is what I have generated. That's what I've told EDUSANs. And that money, you are still enjoying the benefit of that money. So you telling me that I have not. That means you're being in the finance ministry. You need to do maths properly. You need to do maths, because you are not aware of what is happening. Even the simple agreement between Ibrahim Hiseka and the 15th Executive Council, which you work as a finance committee, you are not even aware of that. So thank
you so much. Whether you generate 10,000 or you generated 15 or 20,000, the EDUSA, the record is there, and you can go and verify it. Now it's your turn to ask question, and you can answer it in 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes.
You made mention of generating or having a hotline for the logistics ministry. That is not the problem. I don't think I will ask you a question on that, because anyone who looks at Albert himself is a hotline, because you can reach out to Albert any time of the day and any time of the night. Some people do ask me, students, when they call me at night, they do ask me, Albert, hello, because of what I've been doing for them. Anytime they call me, they reach me. So being the logistics minister is not a problem to me to say that I'm going to look for a hotline where everyone have to use their credit to reach me. No, I am reachable at all times. Now, you said that you are going to generate that hotline, and also, please. Now I'm looking for where I wrote. I want to remember, because I don't want to.
Remember, time is not in our time.
He said also, I am busy misleading people. Sorry for that. Okay, let's just look at this. You said you are going to generate a hotline. Now that hotline, is it going to be free of charge for EDUSANs? If yes or no, what are the modalities to generate a hotline?
Yes, Honorable, in 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. About the hotline is available for any issues that the person is having challenges based on the facility. They can reach on me, and that is just to make communication so accessible of any person who wanted to reach to me directly. And if that individual want to address that particular problem, I can able to be available, or my committee member to be available on the ground to assess the gravity of that facilities. So at this moment, the hotline is just to give EDUSANs the chance to reach to me at any time. I am not in any position saying that I am going to give a hotline free of credits, and I believe telling me a problem will not take 1 minute. It's just as usual. It's a problem that we want it to be fixed. So you taking your own credit, I think you are contributing your quota to see that assets is being maintained. So that is the purpose of the hotline. So because if you look at this place at School of Education, students do not have any platform where they can able to speak out their issues or challenge their communication. But through this hotline can also help people to challenge their communication to me, in which I can able to forward it to my executive of 16 Executive Council to address the issue. So please, I do hope I answer your question. Huh?
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, still you can maintain your one more question to Albert. That is going to be your final questions to Claire.
Yes.
You have.
And during the time he was reading his policy, he mentioned of parts where he opened the cupboards and tried to help those people to get the part. And I believe that one is an overlap of his functions, because there is a particular ministry who is responsible for that. So hope you do not overstep. Yeah.
Yeah, Honorable, in 1 minute, please.
Thank you so much.
Huh?
Thank you so much for asking me that question. I don't just come here anyhow. When you look at my opponent, he came here running because he was a bit late. I came prepared. So, asking me that question, when I made mention of this, I said, I'll make sure that the materials are properly kept. Any material that comes in the name of the council, it is going to be handled by the logistics minister. So, I said it, that the parts are under the Ministry of Gender and Health, but they are not properly managed. But there are materials of the council. They should be managed. Sorry, they should be taken care of. They should be in the custody of the logistics minister. But where they are kept, they are not safe there. It's just an open place. The Gender and Health Ministry was not taken care of it properly. So me coming as the logistics minister, it is also going to be part of my functions, because I make sure that I take care of them. They are the materials of the council. So
yeah, thank you. Before your turn to ask question, Honorable, I will give the opportunity to clear yourself. Do you run while coming here?
Anyway, I think this is an allegation. I think both of us who are here, they confirm we are much conscious about time. I arrive here 24 minutes after 10, and by the time given, you have to arrive at the place 30 minutes before. So I believe, which I have already. And if you know where I'm coming from away from Kitty. So he's just making an allegation. So I don't mind him. It's just like that.
So that answers the question. Now let's move on. It's your turn to ask question. It's your turn to ask question. Now you can ask question, and you have 1 minute to answer.
Okay.
So that is the final question that you're gonna ask.
Thank you so much. We should have gotten enough time for that. But my question is, you talked about transportation. Prof, you asked us about transportation here. And when you look at the activities of some association, like let's say EDUSA, when you have an activity, the logistics minister is supposed to be the one to facilitate transport and transportation means. It's part of our functions. Now, my question to you is, if we have an outdoor activity, you need a bus to transport students and the materials, what are the steps that's supposed? I'm not talking about what are the steps that you will take. The steps, the rundown of steps that are laid there according to the functions or the steps that are supposed to be taken to have a boss from management. Can you please give me a rundown of those steps as a logistics, a technically oriented person? I expect you to know that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that questions. And I believe he just want to baffle you, the EDUSANs. I do not know the protocols that you will take in order to secure a boss. And these protocols should be well respected and should be well carried out. If an individual wants to secure a boss at the management level, the technical and logistic minister with his line ministry secretarial will sit and draft letters to request for a boss. And doing so, we have to stimulate the type of activity in which date and at which time we are going to carry out the activities. In that, I, as a technical logistic minister, if the council believes they cannot send it through emails, I can take the letter physically. Allow me to learn. I will take the letter physically to the management responsible for transportation. As we all know, currently the one responsible for transportation management at the university is Honorable Mr. Jammeh. So in that, I'm gonna deliver the letter, and then they will, and that too also have to be at least 2 weeks before that particular event will take place. So these are the procedures that we will do, and if they have granted you, they can give you a notification, whether through secretarial or whatever. Then you can also reach back to your 15th Executive Council to say the bus is fully available, so we can also set on our journey.
Yeah, thank you so much. That brings to the end of question and answer section by both of them. Then at the end of the program, I'll give you your final remarks. Then you can say whatever you want to say in a specific time period. So for the last question from me as your moderator, Sema Fadi, those are watching us, we are live at Fine TV studio in Farato. EDUSA 2026 policy debates organized by the 15th Executive Council under the Ministry of Information and Communication Ministry. So now to my honorables, my final questions to both of you. EDUSA, if you look at the past 12 months, EDUSA, a lot of things happens. A lot of burhahas, people are complaining, EDUSA here, EDUSA there. And then a lot of things under the 15th Executive Council. Some students are not happy at the end of the day. So EDUSA is divided among two camps. You are from Student Service Council, and then Honorable here also from the Team Renaissance. So these two camps are the one that is giving tough time when you come to EDUSA, especially the political bantaba. A lot of attacks, a lot of things that are going there. We all know you are all active students. So when you are elected as the next minister responsible for technical and logistic, as the executive member of 16th Executive Council, if you are elected, what are you going to do to unify EDUSA? Because right now, to be honest with you, EDUSA is completely divided. So what can you do to bring back the lost glory of EDUSA? We all know EDUSA used to be the best association and also is classified as the mature school. But right now, that respect, to be honest with you, is fading away, and we want that to come back under the 16th Executive Council. So if you're elected, what are you going to do in your power to make sure that all EDUSANs are unified? And you are from a camp. How can you bring the other camps?
Thank you very much for asking these questions. First of all, when I had these questions, it really baffles me, or it really surprises me, of EDUSA being divided, which I would call this claim is entirely not existing. I am not seeing anywhere where fellow EDUSANs are on each other's throats at the campus, physically fighting or whatever. I have never witnessed that, and I believe those are the kind of situations where you can say EDUSA are being divided. But if you come into our political and social bantaba, where we treat political bantaba as a place where we sound our opinion, our suggestions of whatever. So in brief, I think that place is a battle of ideas where people may have different opinion towards particular goal. And in doing so, I believe that's have opened a room of what we call democracy, because everyone have right to express himself. But doing so, I think one need to exercise decorum of doing that. Like, you have to allow your opponent of whatever he said, you respect and treat it fairly. In that also, you don't need to go in for abuse words or languages. And in fact, I am an active person in the political bantaba. The social bantaba I regard it as a pseudo bantaba, for the simple fact that it's governed by the pseudos there. And then I believe those are the very elements who are very destructive to our association, EDUSA. And those elements need to be get rid to our pages. They are really doing more harm than the good. They are reducing our school to a decimal point at a laughing stock. And I believe the IPRO of the 15th Executive Council at this moment, as they are the custodian of that page, I think they have a role to play in that, to see the page is being sanitized, and to see that what our School of Education is known for, the maturity, as they said, all the mature students as School of Education. It's just now we started to have the young ones, but definitely this need to be treated in order to have a conducive environment, and in order to have friendly environment too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable, for that wonderful remarks. Yeah, when you come to the executive page and then also the social media and all the other groups, it's the responsibility of the IPRO ministry to control those pages. Now, you talk about the CEDOs and other stuff. As the information and communication minister, all the numbers that are in the political bantaba, we know them. And then there are people that you thought that they are CEDOs, but in actual sense, they are not CEDOs. Those who are CEDOs, and you cannot identify yourself, we remove them outright. But now to the same question to the Albert. Now, a lot happened during the last 12 months. A lot of brouhahas, misunderstanding here and there, fighting, recommendations, suspensions. EDUSA is divided into two. The lost glory of EDUSA, we want it to come back, and also to unify the EDUSA. If you are elected as the next technical and logistics minister under the 16th Executive Council, what are you going to do to unify EDUSANs? You are from a camp. How can you bring the other camps so that EDUSA can be one and we get back the glory that we used to have?
Thank you, Prof. Anyone who knows Albert will know that Albert is a unifier. Albert is someone who works to unify people. This is why I came up with a motto in this election: unifying EDUSA through hard work, because this ministry requires someone who is hardworking. And how am I going to work towards the unification of EDUSANs? I, as a minister, I'll be working with council members. When you look at the Prof, I think this is supposed to be corrected. EDUSANs are not divided. There is no problem between EDUSANs. He can attest to that. I have no problem with him. I have no problem with his members. It is the council that is divided. Those that we voted for to run our affairs. I think they are going to answer that when the president comes. Now, coming to how I'm going to unify EDUSA or take part in the unification of EDUSA, I'll make sure that as the logistics minister, technically oriented, I'll make sure that I perform my duty to make sure to complement the other efforts of the other ministers, as it is going to be my responsibility to do any other function given to me by the council, and make sure that I perform my function without fear or favor, or looking at my camp. When you look at my camp, Team Renaissance, when you are elected as a council member, you are partially withdrawn from the camp. That is the integrity we have in Renaissance. I will not perform any duty based on my camp or the camp of the minister that is that I'm working with. I will say that I treat everyone equally, because I will swear by the constitution to perform my duty without ill will or favor, and make sure that I uphold the principles of good governance and ethical leadership, to make sure that I am not influenced by any camp, I am not influenced by anybody, but I will do my work to serve EDUSANS, not to serve my camp. I think that is where the main problem is.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. Now, they say that the EDUSANS are united, there's no problem, but as the custodians of the social media, I definitely know that not everything is not going according to right. So they say that the students are having no problem, it's the 15 executive council members that are having a problem. Then I think we're going to organize another program so that the 15 executive council members also can clarify the air to know what is the root cause of the problems, or where the problems actually lies. But we don't want that scenario to happen under the 16th Executive Council. So that brings us to the end of the program. So I will now give you 1 minute to say your final words and say goodbye. And you also can say the reason why EDUSANS will vote for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof.
In 1 minute.
Finally, I urge all EDUSANS to come on the 31st of this month, March, and give me their vote, because I am someone who don't jump from one ministry to another ministry. My opponent was prepared for the finance ministry, but because his camp showed that he is incapable, he is incompetent, they brought in somebody who is better than him to man or to contest for the position. Now they think that the medicines ministry can be handled by anybody. No, they don't just joke with that. They don't joke with competence in EDUSA, especially in Team Renaissance, because they have prepared me. They have seen what I have been doing since in my first year. So they call me and say to me, we want you to handle this person. So EDUSANS should look at the activities and the knowledge that I have. I told you before, look at someone who is saying it from his heart, not from the mouth. I have EDUSA at heart. I have been doing it, even behind cameras. I have been doing it.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, Honorable, your final words, and you also can mention the reason why they should vote for you.
Thank you very much. As you all know, technical logistic ministry do not only require someone who have experience, but also someone who have patience and who have listening skill to listen to the people he is serving and bringing out best services that they want. And aside from that, the reason you should elect me, I am someone who is not a pseudo user, who will change from coordinator to stationary, from stationary to Malco, and keep attacking individuals on the social bantaba, political bantaba, even caricaturing the executive members. If you have voted in for me, you have voted for a person who is not known of being using any pseudo account. I am very much honest in my dealings and very much transparent, and he alleged me of saying that I was in the finance ministry and I do not vie for it. And there are so many reasons that is making me to come and solve your technical and logistic ministry. There were a lot of failures. There were accommodation failure during the EDUSA nationwide. Yes, if you are not aware, I let you know. And these are the things, that's why I'm coming. Thank you.
Thank you. from AI to pseudo, from governor to we had it all here. No? So that brings us to the end of the program, and then you are watching Fine TV live on Farato Studio, EDUSA Hour Policy Debates 2026. I'm your moderator, Seymour Fati, the IPRO 15 Executive Council. So we bring the end of this program here, and then join us for the next policy debates where we are going to host the sport candidates that are vying for sport ministry. So university students, the management, the vice chancellor, and the members of the 15th Executive Council, I thank you all for the opportunity that you give it to us. And EDUSA, please make a wise choice. Vote for the person that you think is competent and then you can hear them know the day of the convention. You can come, they will sell out their policies and programs so that you can be better informed and make a choice that you are not going to regret tomorrow, because they are going to run on your behalf. So on that note, I thank you all. I thank the CEO of Fine TV, Honorable Kekuta. Thank you for hosting us today. Thank you.